We are a body called Society for Health Enlightenment Initiative. We were registered in 2006, and we've been carrying out health interventions across the states. We try to ensure that our people understand the need to pay attention to their health. Those silent killers, those things that we usually just ignore, we try to bring to the fore. People get aware of their health status. We're just contributing to the many of such programs. In 2009, the world came to the realization that pneumonia, child pneumonia, kills children faster than malaria, measles, and AIDS combined. And so the world decided to focus on pneumonia, bring the world attention, global attention to the menace of our children from 0 to 5 years old. To know about that, so SO-HEALTHI decided to identify with that project, because the bane of our problem here is ignorance. And so the much we can do to just have people sensitized, we would have seen that we've done something for humanity. And so my team embarked on that project. And luckily, we submitted a proposal to then School of Public Health, Bloomberg, Johns Hopkins School of Public Health, Bloomberg. And with a very kind assistance and other doctors in pediatrics, Dr. Emmanuel Adams, Dr. Happiness, they were so keen. And I remember when we went to Akamba, then pneumonia vaccine was not part of the national immunization program. So with the help of some of the pharmacists on our team, like Paul and me, we were able to mobilize assistance and procure the vaccines and took to Akamba. And when we saw the lineup of women that came out with their babies to be vaccinated, and we couldn't even reach more than half, our hearts broke. But that is the extent to which we have tried to reach out to the civil society. You can see, we've done Calabar South, and we've done a bit, not enough. We've done something. So we had the small grant in 2009 from Johns Hopkins School of Public Health, working in collaboration with IVAC and Gavin. We had the small grant again in 2010 and 2011. And when they, I believe, saw that they had done enough pioneering efforts, they left us on our own. And from that 2011-12, it has been this team chipping in little. And I want to appreciate them for what they have been doing. They've never let this project down. So today, sir, is another World Pneumonia Day. It's a global celebration. And the theme is that every child deserves clean breath. Here we are in your organization. We want to combine health advocacy, sensitization with encouraging our children in the area of creative writing. So this year, SO-HEALTHI is organizing an essay competition amongst the junior secondary school students, testing their knowledge after a talk that have been given on pneumonia. And that is why we are here, sir. We want to say once again that we are so delighted that you've allowed us to come to the name. And we believe this with nice.
I also want to thank you for choosing to hold the competition here in the hospital. We are at a stage of trying to unfold again. We're trying to unfold, we're like a folded flower. So we need to unfold, we need the exposure, because from the exposure we will have the kind of advice that will help us make progress. We recognize that we don't know everything, so we're willing to learn, we're willing to make progress, and we're willing to make the sacrifices necessary to build a hospital that will serve the interest of our people. In that regard also, we are willing to cooperate with every person, corporate or private, who wants to contribute to the healthcare delivery of our people, either in a preventive sense or in therapeutic intervention. Whatever we can do, we will always do for as long as we are here. We need to understand that health will always remain a collaborative effort. Government alone cannot do it all. So NGOs and other private organizations, whether they be for profit or non-profit, will have to be encouraged to make their own contribution. So to that extent, we are here. We are open. We will help in every way.
Pneumonia is a very deadly disease that can be taken care of. It is something that can be stopped from killing people. Let me just use very little words that the children will understand, even though pneumonia is a very big word. They used to tell us that pneumonia, when you have pain on your side and you are trying to breathe, and that cold has entered your side or your back or your chest. But I'm not a medical doctor. We have a medical doctor here who will tell you all that. I will introduce to you now the very lovely mother of ours, who is none other than Pastor Barrister Mrs. Rosemary Ashibon. Dr. Mrs. Faith Lumanze. And we have a chief nursing officer here, who is Mrs. Josephine Iguiro. Welcome. They are very qualities in the hospital. Dr. Yamba is here, head of social works in the hospital.
Society for Health Enlightenment Initiative. And it was born out of passion. Nobody paid us. So you can do something for society. Not just going to church to pray and to sing and receive prophecy. It's taking that love to touch a life. That is what true Christianity is. I want to encourage the young ones who are here, even the older ones, that selfless service. The world has gone way out. That is why we have the governor of the state. This year, he says the theme for the carnival is what? Humanity. Do you know? Humanity. This is humanity. Being your brother's keeper, not when they pay you money. Being your sister's keeper, not because of what you benefit. When you do it, God will bless you. So we want to tell you about pneumonia. Have you heard of pneumonia before? How many people have ever heard of pneumonia? Okay. Some have not heard. So you're going to hear, and when you hear it, you take it back to your school. I want to welcome you, and I don't want to make any speech because I have two doctors who will talk for 5 minutes. You're going to do an essay writing class to tell them, you have so many children. Do they know? Because superstition is what happens everywhere. So you want to tell them. And we went on that creek. How many of you came with me? How many you were there? We went in a boat and we went and came back. That is what we want to do. That is the kind of life we want. Not when we are so scared of kidnapping. We want to be our brothers. Pneumonia, you go die. Pneumonia, you go die. Pneumonia, you go die. Pneumonia, you go die. Pneumonia must die. None of our children, 0 to 5, will die anymore.
Of Promise High School. You're welcome. Thank you. Government Secondary School, Akom. You're welcome. Aye High School. You're welcome. Seven Angels University Secondary School. You're welcome. And Holy Trinity College. You're all welcome, and we are all here in Calabar Metropolis.
Hello.
A heart infection, true or false? A heart infection, true or false? Good. So, pneumonia is a lung infection. Am I right? Yes. Infection of one or both. The number one killer of children under 5 years, especially in this part of our world. Nigeria, the country with the second highest pneumonia. We're second to India. India was number 1, and Nigeria was number 2. So, I mean, yes, the numbers have reduced, but it is still alarming. Okay, yes, government has, made certain interventions, but the figures are still alarming. This thing that is killing so many children is preventable and treatable. Okay, pneumonia can be prevented by a simple vaccine. We know what vaccine is, right? I'm sure a lot of us have been vaccinated. There's the BCG vaccine. There's a polio vaccine. There are so many vaccines, and there's a vaccine for pneumonia known as pneumococcal vaccine. I'm seeing some smart people jotting down. Very good. But you won't use your book to write the essay. Jot down and memorize it. Okay. So the vaccine can prevent pneumonia, and there are so many other measures that can prevent pneumonia, because if you eat well, you're not likely to come down with pneumonia, you're not likely to die from pneumonia. If babies are breastfed, we know what exclusive breastfeeding is. If they are given breast milk for the first 6 months of their life, their immunity is strong, they're not likely to come down with pneumonia or die from pneumonia. So malnutrition is one thing that can cause children to be susceptible to pneumonia. Then even air pollution. The air you breathe is not clean. If you're staying in an overcrowded place, you're using, your room is just close to the stove, or you even sleep near the kitchen, there's no proper ventilation, you're using firewood or this kerosene stove, and the smoke, is polluting your air. There are so many things that can pollute the air. Breathing clean air, you are likely to come down with pneumonia, you are likely to die from pneumonia. Any child that has not been vaccinated is likely to come down with pneumonia. Okay? So there are so many things, apart from the vaccine, there are so many things, there are so many ways to prevent pneumonia. Dear Dr. Genevieve will expound on pneumonia is preventable. Pneumonia is also very treatable with very affordable antibiotics. Okay? Very affordable antibiotics. Pneumonia can be caused by bacteria, can be caused by fungi, can be caused by viruses, but the most common we see here is bacterial pneumonia. And there are antibiotics that are very cheap that can cure it. But the problem we have is most times people go to get to the hospital late. Okay, they get to the hospital late, and by that time it's really bad. So it's important to recognize the symptoms early, okay? And I'll just mention briefly the core symptoms of pneumonia: cough, okay, fever. Sometimes the person may complain of difficulty breathing, chest pain, okay? Tiredness, what we call general malaise, very good. So, poor appetite. For children, they may not be able to complain, but if you notice your baby sister or brother is coughing, has a fever, is not eating well, is not playing as before, then you need to check. That child probably has malaria. Tell your parents, please take my brother or my sister to the hospital immediately. Pneumonia is very treatable, and it's always better when you report early to the hospital.
What mommy said, and I'll tell you why.
My health is in my hands.
My health is in my hands.
All right then. When you're sitting next to somebody and their nose is running, and they're coughing, and they're sneezing, and they're not using tissue or handkerchief to cover their mouth, what does that say to you? You need to run away from that person. Because whatever they're coughing out, sneezing out, it's gone into the atmosphere, into the air, and you're inhaling it. Did you get that one? Now, there's a reason why when you go abroad, right from the airport, they put restroom, toilets. There is a toilet there, but there's no sign. The first thing you must look for wherever you go to is a restroom and a toilet. Why? Because you need to sanitize yourself. When you go use the toilet, you're supposed to wash your hands when you're finished. And when you finish using the toilet, you're not supposed to use your bare hands to flush the toilet. Did you know that? You're not supposed to use your bare hands. I just finished using the toilet, wiping myself, and then I flushed the toilet with the same hands. What have I done to that handle? I have infected it. You're supposed to get up, clean yourself, wash your hands first. When you're done washing your hands, you use the tissue that you wiped your hands with, then you come to the toilet, and then you use that tissue to flush the toilet. That way you prevent infection. Now when you use your handkerchief and your tissue, when we were little, Mommy, can you remember? When we went to school, our parents used to pin handkerchiefs to our uniforms. They were doing infection precautions. So when you sneeze in there. You protect yourself. But now, we parents, we don't do it for our children anymore. When you use a tissue one time, you fold it. You're supposed to bin it. You can't walk around with that tissue anymore because you've got bacteria in that tissue. But some of us will walk around with the same tissue, move around with it, use the same dirty hands, open the door, and go out the door. Go down the stairs, and you're holding the staircase. What have you done? What have you done to the next person coming along? You've infected the door, you've infected the staircase, and in your classroom, you've infected the tables. So you're supposed to sneeze, bin it, then wash your hands. Did you get that? Sneeze it, use it, bin it, wash. U-B-W. Your health is in your hands. It's what you do with your hands. That's what stops you from having pneumonia also. Your health is in your hands. Are you understanding me, children?
Yes, ma'am.
And when your parents give you antibiotics to take, antibiotics has like twice a day, 3 times a day, 5 days, 10 days. You're not supposed to stop taking your antibiotics. You might stop sneezing, you might stop having a runny nose, but the bacteria is not dead yet. And you stop taking your medications. You're not supposed to. So you tell your parents, you have to finish your prescription. Children, did you understand that?
Yes.
So let's repeat what Mommy said again about the hands. You tell Mommy to give you one handkerchief and you carry it with you all the time. Preventive measures. Did you understand that?
Those germs that cause pneumonia, they like smoke. How many of us also do firewood to cook? You know, firewood brings out a lot of smoke. Sometimes we use fan. Some of you don't know what I'm talking about. Any of you that was not in the village here? But some people use fan. And then some will squat and use their mouth. How many of you know what I'm talking about? As you're doing that, the smoke is going to where? To your nose and to your lungs. So when Mommy says, know this thing, you know better than what new. You say, no, Mom. Step aside, put the firewood properly, and use the fan. Hand wash. You sneeze, wash your hands. You go to the toilet, wash your hands. You come back from school, wash your hands all the time. I'm giving you this addition because you're going to write an essay. And you're going to use all this information to put in your essay. Are we okay?
Yes.
The other thing that Dr. Achibong said, breastfeeding. 6 months, nothing but breasts. It builds baby's immunity and prevents infection. You see prizes, be competitive, make sure you take that prize to your school. Word of Promise has been consistent. There's hardly any program of ours that Word of Promise does not feature. Can you put your hands together?
Just want to cough without having your handkerchief and use. This is how you have to do it. You know when you
Causes, prevention in Nigeria. If you get it, at the end of it, let our children become more inquisitive about things around them. Let our children become more aware.
Who has been breathing fast with fever and coughing, please, it's not far from pneumonia. Talk to the person. Tell the person to forget about the myths, the superstitious beliefs, and we come to the hospital and treat pneumonia. And thanks to all members of the high table. I'm so healthy. Thank you very much. Always.
Children, 0 and don't write on your hand. Kills children 0 to 5.
having difficulty in breathing, just doing once in a while. And she has been on drugs, and up till now, it hasn't really gone like that. So I want to find out, is it that there is no way this thing can cure completely? That's the question.
Pneumonia with proper medication is supposed to go completely. There are some times that you have complicated pneumonia, okay? There can be some complications in the lung, maybe pus collection somewhere in what we call a pleural effusion, where pus and some fluid collects there that needs to be drained. Antibiotics will not drain it. So I don't know if she went to a proper hospital. If she's still having issues, she needs to go to a hospital, have a chest x-ray done.
Bacteria of pneumonia live in the mouth. Like you said, they like warm areas.
They live in the lungs. They actually stay in the lungs and destroy the lungs. They can pass through other places, but the lungs is their target.
So you have something in your nose, okay? Those bacteria they're not supposed to cause infection unless somebody who is really, really sick, like someone with HIV, like the immune system is so weakened, then they can come down with living in your mouth and all. But the ones that will cause an infection to your lungs, they live in the lungs, okay? But another thing is, because you know that we have your nose, for instance, is constantly exposed to the environment. So we're constantly breathing in things. But God has given us protective mechanism to protect us from whatever it is we breathe in. So you find that you have hairs in your nose that are supposed to kind of act as a filter for the air that you breathe in. And even inside your lungs, the trachea, you have what we call cilia. It's like brush-like projections, okay, that are supposed to sweep up whatever it is you breathe in that is harmful. They sweep it up. That's why once in a while you see yourself coughing, clearing your throat, okay? So yes, you have organisms in your mouth, but they are not harmful. They are not supposed to cause disease. The ones that cause disease move into your lungs, stay there, and multiply, okay?
Like we said earlier on, some of you have understood very, very well the pattern of essay writing. Some of you have learned the mistakes we've made today. We hope you've learned your tenses. Your tenses. Please, punctuation. Where to put comma. Comma is when the sentence is so long, you just take a break. If it is very, very long, you put the semicolon. If you don't want to put the full stop. So you got to understand all those things. We have a problem deciding who should be given these prizes. But something has to be done, right? And we are so amazed that there has been a good blend. The gender, where women and men have done well. You've competed very well. The permanent secretary of the Ministry of Information and Orientation would do the prize giving. People were scoring 90, 85, 95, 96. I don't know what to do. But want to read the results? The first three are there.
And I want you to appreciate the winners with a thunderous applause. So I'm going to start from the third highest score. And that goes to Hogan Abigail Ayo of Government. She is of Government Secondary School. Yes. She's called. Well, it's my pleasure, on behalf of my boss, and SO-HEALTHI, and all the dignitaries here, to present the third prize in this essay competition organized to celebrate this year's World Pneumonia Day, to Abigail Ayo Hogan. Congratulations. Go greet the album. Great man. So the second prize for today goes to, wow, I can see even the adults are more expectant and anxious than the children. Second prize goes to Michael Ihechukwu Augustine Egbede. He is of Seven Angels University Secondary School. To the first prize winner. And the winner is the first prize winner. The winner for this year's World Pneumonia Day essay competition is Ayo Praise. I'm sure by next year, everybody, Margaret Temple or St. Margaret's and all the other schools participating, they're going to aspire to do better than Praise did this year so that you can win. So I'd like to, without much ado, present the presentation now on behalf of SO-HEALTH to our champion Praise.
Word of promise, you are welcome. There's a very special paper here from your school, and the owner of this paper is your faith.
So don't feel bad. The way you're looking, relax. You did very well.
What is military?
It's almost my house.
Okay. Please, pronounce your name, let us.
Only a basketball.
Is that what you did there?
Okay, Paul Lear B. Ekwe. Paul Lear Basi Ekwe. His handwriting is artistic. Congratulations. So, Princess Ugom Natanya from Higher High School. This goes to Timothy Solomon Akpan, our community secondary school in the Congratulations.
Hello, good afternoon all. Standing on the existing protocol, to also say thank you to SO-HEALTHI for organizing this event to educate the children and the entire world about pneumonia. We have come here today and we have learned so much. The last essay that was written, my school took first position, second, and today we took second position. We want to give all glory to God, and I want to say thank you to all the students. You have all passed well. You have all passed. None of you have failed because the marker said no student failed, and they don't have failure. All of you have passed well. Next time you will take first, second, third position, and you will win more prizes.
Oh Lord, the money that has been given to us is taken from you. Pray that Lord you replenish it 100-fold in the mighty name of Jesus. What will be done in our lives, O Lord? Amen.
Thank you so much. Thank you, children. Thank you. God bless all of you.
Happy about it, and I encourage people to read more and learn more about such competitions. So the program is wonderful, and God will always bless them for giving kids the opportunity to show their talents.
As a person, I'm involved in this pneumonia projects in the last 10 years. And as a result of that, I'm aware of all the intricacies or the importance of pneumonia celebration. That's the reason we decided to provide this venue for the events. As you could remember, in the morning, SO-HEALTHI, directors of SO-HEALTHI paid a courtesy visit to the management of the hospital. And to my own estimation, they were well received. The medical director gave them kudos appreciated what they are doing, what they have been doing, and what they are doing, and what they will continue to do. So that shows that we are not illusion of the fact that So-HEALTHI is a very significant non-governmental organization.